We are underway. This will roll through the back line. That'll give us an opportunity to introduce you to Kent State's starting 11. And, well, no real surprises here. KSU going to be trotting out the same lineup that's gotten them to this point. And it looks like this. Out there on the field, you will have Azure Fernsler in goal for Kent State. Her back defense will look like this. Daniel Ham will start on the left, Alex Sacker in the middle, and Maria Cambra on the right. Your midfield looks like this for Kent State today. Ashley Bonnets, the fifth-year player, gets the start on the left. In the middle, it'll be Elena Cambra and Clara Rodriguez. And on the right, sophomore Vicky Tingatella. Up front doing the attacking, it'll be Katie Warsel, the sophomore, Louisa Knapp, the senior, in the middle, and Sydney Washburn on the other end as we are just a few minutes into this one. And, I mean, again, you talked about it, Jess, but it really can't go understated. This rivalry has been going on for quite some time. These two teams, there's no love lost between these programs when it comes to hockey.
No, not at all. They've been trading shots for as far back as I've been here, and even further. It's kind of a running thing with Kent State and Miami that they always come down to the final two when it comes to the MAC. There's more competition coming into the MAC, and so keeping ahead of this rivalry is even more important. You've got Longwood really competing, and the other teams having a season or two where they really challenge the title as well. So it is exciting to see, to be here for this match and see who comes out on top.
You've been a part of this Kent State, or you were a part of this Kent State program. You got a chance to see this Miami team, and obviously the names change, the numbers change, but the style does not. What can Kent State expect Miami to throw at them here in this contest?
Yeah, so Miami's always played a kind of unusual structure. They like to play with five in the midfield, and that can throw off your own defensive structure and your marking. The zones are a little bit different, so it'll be, I'm sure there was a lot of scouting done by Kent State when they went through their video and planning and preparing for that. But we're running here on the baseline. Oh.
Just barely unable to keep that in was Katie Warsel. She has been so good for Kent State here down the home straightaway. And again, this is the last home game of Kent State's season. They will have their last 4 regular season games on the road. So a tough stretch coming up here for KSU, but the biggest game of their season set to take place here this afternoon, and we are already a couple of minutes in. Kent State and Miami doing battle in what could be the fight for the top of the MAC by the end of the season. And, you know, again, this is a Miami of Ohio team as they will try to get very aggressive here. That's batted down right around the quarter line, but Kent State has done such a good job these last few matches working themselves into penalty corners. What do they have to do to keep that kind of pressure up on a good Miami defense?
I think they just need to keep playing their game, keep moving the ball, keep playing their pass possession. Both teams here, if they play their own game, it really could be either team's game today. They just need to stick to what they know. Don't get flustered with the intensity of the game. And you can see already Kent State started to do their passing progressions to get forward.
Trying to keep it inside the circle. They'll lose out there as Miami of Ohio takes over. Let's get a look at what we're seeing down there field side. Kent State in their classic home gold unis with the navy blue numerals. Gold tops, blue bottoms. For the Miami of Ohio squad, they will rock the red tops with the white numerals trimmed in black. Pretty easy teams to spot. Pretty readable jerseys for us as well, Jess. You haven't had to deal with any of the fade jerseys or any of that nonsense this season.
No, it's easy for us to recognize each player, see who's creating things, and be able to commentate on the game efficiently with the numbers and the players.
Certainly not something you can always say. I think the worst jerseys in the MAC I've seen so far may have been the Akron women's soccer jerseys. As getting inside very quickly. Shot on goal, knocked down by Fernsler. Good save there for Azure Fernsler, who continues just to be a brick wall in cage so far this season.
Yeah, and this is something that Kent State really can't afford to do today. That was a deflection from the back defender, and so deflecting that to cage where Azure Ferns is having to make a critical save is something they just can't afford to have today in an already intense battle.
Kent State right now trying to get it onto the left side here, trying to work it near the circle. KSU's been so dangerous on breakaway opportunities like this, but Miami has had a chance to get back and reset. And they will take possession back here. One thing that I've noticed here early on, it seems like Miami is leaving their backs a bit further towards goal than what we've seen other teams do. Do you think that's a result of Kent State really working in transition well these last couple of matches?
I think that happens a little bit because they play with the 5 in the midfield.
Sure.
They already have so many numbers forward. Those 3 can really take on that defensive responsibility for the team, and they play very patient. They play patient enough to allow their midfield line and their forward line to make those recovery runs and get back into the play.
Right now, working in transition, it is the Red Hawks. They almost lose it there. Kent State ultimately going to take it away about the 25 line, and See if they can keep possession here. Neither team is really threatened, although Miami does have the one shot on goal. It was a good stick save for Azure Fernsler. Aside from that, kind of just feeling each other out. But we've talked about this before. I mean, this is something you'll see a lot of teams do, especially Kent State. This is kind of the note-taking quarter for KSU. They try to look for the cracks in the armor of this Red Hawk defense.
Yeah, they definitely do take their time to build into their possession. We have seen in the last 2 games that we've done that Kent State is able to get some penalty corner opportunities in the first quarter. I would like to see them convert some of those opportunities early. We talk a lot about how Kent State's a second half team, so really pushing to capitalize on some of those opportunities that they do tend to get in that first quarter is excellent. And here we have another one.
2-on-1 opportunity for Kent State, trying to feed it through and still trying to battle for possession. It will be the first corner of the day for Kent State off a foot of a defender. Looks like that time for Miami getting a sneaker on that. It was Madison Workman, the junior. So Kent State's going to have the first set piece of the day, and this is where they've been doing a lot of their damage in these recent matches. They scored on a penalty to equalize against Longwood. They scored on a penalty to equalize against Indiana. They have been so good in these spots, and you know, whether it's just strategy or raw execution, Kent State seems to get a lot more of these than their opponents this season. They've got to keep that pressure up.
I think it comes from their passing game. They carry that into the circle, and it's difficult to defend, and that was great execution by Katie Wursel.
So here we go. Kent State, no surprise here. It'll be Louisa Knapp to insert. She has been the one putting it in play on a majority of these opportunities that Kent State has converted. As Miami prepares to defend this, they'll have Morgan Sturm, player who committed the penalty in Madison Workman. Looks like Lexi Nugent and also Luli Rosso in goal with the keeper. Knapp sets this up. Stopped at the top. Kent State going to go ahead and take the shot on goal. It's deflected again. Kent State may get another opportunity. It'll be another corner here instead as it's off the foot again. Miami just trying to keep the sneakers off the ball, but that's not always your choice as that thing really starts pinballing around inside the circle.
No, especially in these penalty corner opportunities where you are numbers down. It's often you've got 5 defenders against anywhere from 8 to even 9 attackers in there. You kind of just try to make the save.
Plenty of eyes will be on Clara Rodriguez. She has been one of the best at converting these into goals, and she stands just to the right at the top of the circle right now. It'll be Louisa Knapp once again. The senior sets it up, puts it up at the top. Kent State wants to go right on goal, and it's in! Kent State strikes first. A beautiful ball put in by Maria Cambra, her 5th goal of the season, and the Flashes lead it 1-0 early. Kent State on top.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle this one. They haven't been up in the last couple of games, and they like to play from behind. So it'll be interesting to see how they keep this momentum going. But we just talked about capitalizing on those penalty corner opportunities, and that's exactly what they've done.
Maria Cambra with a laser on cage, and no one was stopping that. That was beautifully executed by Kent State. But yeah, you've got a point. This is the first time we've seen Kent State at home here not trailing going into one of the later quarters. So definitely a different style of game. Also watch out for that 2-minute lull we talked about, as Kent State going to have to stay alert here against a very good Miami of Ohio team.